You know that feeling on a Monday morning when you open your banking app and realize you're going to have to perform magic again just to make the numbers work. You work 47 hours a week. You skip vacations. You save. You leave your money right where the bank told you to put it, but here's what they never tell you while you're saving: they're earning. And the lie they keep telling you is costing you money every single day. I'm the wolf. I don't sell products. I don't take commissions. I just spent way too many hours pulling data from the BLS, the St. Louis Fed, and Vanguard's historical records. And what I found made me genuinely angry. Not the kind of angry where you punch a wall. The kind of angry where everything gets very quiet and very clear. There are 3 lies your bank has been telling you. They're not dramatic. They're not obvious. That's exactly what makes them dangerous. Each one sounds like advice. Each one is designed to keep you broke and keep them rich. Let me show you exactly how it works. Lie number 1. Your money is safe here. It is. Technically, the FDIC insures your deposits. If the bank collapses tomorrow, the government hands you back your number. The number in the account, not the value. The number, here's the difference. The average savings account at the 4 biggest banks in America, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, pays between 0.01% and 0.46% APY. That's not a typo. 0.01%. Meanwhile, CPI inflation ran at 3.4% in 2024. Before that, it hit 8.3% in 2022. The Federal Reserve's own M2 money supply data shows that between 2020 and 2022, they printed enough new dollars to expand the money supply by 40%. 40% in 2 years. Your savings account paid you 0.46%. Inflation took 3.4%. You lost nearly 3% of your purchasing power every single year, while the bank told you your money was safe. Here's what that looks like in real numbers. $100,000 sitting in a standard savings account for 10 years earns about $4,700 in interest. Sounds fine. But after real inflation, that same $100,000 now buys what $71,600 would have bought a decade ago. You didn't gain $4,700. You lost $28,400 in purchasing power while they called you a valued customer. Your money is safe. Your wealth is not. Those are 2 completely different things. And your bank knows that. They just never explain the difference. Meet Kevin. Kevin is 54. He lives in Columbus, Ohio, makes $85,000 a year. Has $62,000 sitting in a Chase savings account. He's proud of that. He worked hard for it. His mortgage is $1,800 a month. Health insurance for his family, $620. Car payment, $487. He's stretched, but he's managing. He's being responsible. What Kevin doesn't know is that his $62,000 is silently bleeding. At a real inflation rate of 3.4%, that pile loses roughly $2,100 in purchasing power every year. He's not spending it. He's not losing it in the stock market. He's just letting it sit where the bank told him to put it. And it's draining, quietly, invisibly, without a single alarm going off. By the time Kevin turns 62 and thinks about retiring, those 8 years of silent bleeding will have cost him over $16,000 in real purchasing power. Gone, no crash, no crisis, just the slow, steady theft of a low interest rate and a high inflation environment. The bank's favorite combination. Lie number 2. Our rates are competitive. This one is almost elegant in how brazen it is. When the Federal Reserve raised interest rates to over 5% in 2023, banks across the country celebrated because now they could lend money at 7%, 8%, even higher. Credit cards hit 21% average APR. Mortgages crossed 7.5%. And what did they raise your savings rate to? Chase, 0.01%. Wells Fargo, 0.01%. Bank of America, 0.01%. Let that sit for a moment. The Fed funds rate was above 5%. The banks were charging you 7 to 8% on loans and paying you 0.01% on your deposits. That's not a rate. That's a rounding error. That's them looking you in the eye and telling you the deal is fair. During that same period, Your high-yield savings accounts at online banks like Marcus by Goldman Sachs and Ally were paying 4.5% to 5.0%. Same FDIC protection, same access to your money, just a different zip code on the internet. The difference between 0.01% and 4.5% on $62,000 over just 3 years is roughly $8,400. Not invested, not in the market, just sitting in a different savings account. $8,400 Kevin left on the table because his bank told him their rates were competitive. They weren't lying about the competition. The competition was themselves. Lie number 3, investing is too risky for people like you. This is the most expensive lie, and it's the subtlest. Nobody at your bank sits you down and says, don't invest. They don't have to. They just make the process confusing enough, the fees high enough, and the warnings scary enough that most people stay put. Markets are volatile. You could lose everything. Wait until things stabilize. Things never stabilize. That's the point. Here's what the data actually says. According to Vanguard's historical analysis, the S&P 500 has returned an average of approximately 10.7% per year nominally since 1926. After inflation, that's roughly 7.5% in real terms. Not every year. Some years it drops. But over any rolling 20-year period in modern history, the market has never delivered a negative return. The real risk isn't volatility. The real risk is standing still while everything around you inflates. $100,000 left in a 0.01% savings account for 20 years becomes $100,200. In nominal terms, in real terms, after inflation, it's worth less than $55,000. Is $100,000 invested in a simple S&P 500 index fund for 20 years? At 10.7% average annual return becomes over $730,000. That's the number, $730,000 versus $100,200. That is the price of the third lie. And here's the thing that makes my jaw tighten every time I think about it. Index funds require zero expertise. You don't need a financial advisor. You don't need to pick stocks. You buy VTI or VOO. You set up automatic contributions, and you let time do what compounding does. A 22-year-old intern can do it. Your bank just never told you that. The Wolf's 3 moves. So what do? Right now. This week, 3 steps. Step 1, stop the bleeding. Move your emergency fund, or whatever you're keeping in a big bank savings account, to a high-yield savings account. Marcus, Ally, SoFi. Today's rates are hovering around 4.5%. You're not investing it, you're not risking it, you're just stopping the quiet theft. This one move on Kevin's $62,000 adds back roughly $2,700 a year he was previously handing to Chase for free. Step 2, turn paper into tools. Open a brokerage account. Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard. Buy a total market ETF. VTI is the simplest. Set up automatic monthly contributions, even $200 a month. Remove the emotion. Remove the decision. Let the machine run. You're not speculating. You're buying a slice of every major company in America on a schedule. Step 3, know the difference between money stored and money working. Your emergency fund is stored. 3 to 6 months of expenses, liquid, accessible in a HYSA. Everything beyond that has one job: work. Assets that produce or protect purchasing power. Index funds, I-bonds, TIPS. Things the government cannot simply print away. That's the wolf's den. Not complicated, not flashy. Boring, actually. The most powerful financial strategy in the world is profoundly boring. The banks are counting on you to find boring unappealing. Here's the part nobody talks about. This isn't really about money. It's about time. Kevin works 47 hours a week. He drives 40 minutes each way. He misses dinners. He skips vacations. He tells himself it's temporary, that once things calm down, he'll breathe again. The 3 lies are designed to make sure things never calm down, to keep him stretched, exhausted, and dependent on the next paycheck. Because a man who's stretched has no leverage, no options, no exit. The wolf's job isn't to make you rich overnight. It's to hand you back the one thing the banks can't price: your time. The peace of knowing that the money is working while you're sleeping. that you're not one emergency away from disaster, that you have options, that feeling right there is worth more than any interest rate. If this cracks something open for you, drop awake in the comments. That's how we find each other. And next week, I'm going to show you exactly how banks use your own fear as a financial product, how they package your anxiety, sell it back to you as security, and charge you a monthly fee for the privilege. You don't want to miss that one.